I'm from Baltimore. Every beat we speed it up.
God will put you back together in front of those who broke you.
Slide. Demons gon' die on the beat. So say stop lying to me. New self, I'm dying to me. Got God inside of me. Yeah, bro, crash out, he tryna see. Watch out, you'll die in the streets. Yeah, watch out, you'll die in the streets. You stay at the crib and I'm biting his feet. Talk about Jesus to get on the feet. And live what you talking, cause talking is cheap. A demon keep talking, we chalk at the seats. Let's take a vacation, we go on Belize. Disciple the 12, not go on police. Pulling up fair when I high at a V. Got twin in the driver with me. Too tough when you riding with me. No job, he abiding in me. No job, I'm abiding in him. No cap, that spirit be fighting in me. Right hand tripping, I chop off a limb. I know that these people be lying to me. They follow the way, they ain't following him. A blitz up when I walk in the door. Scripture got me starting the war. Cashed out, now his body on floors. Crash out, I ain't body the Lord. Them folks having parties on tours. I'm trying to show God to the earth. I'm telling them folks that it's more. They tripping, I tell them to put out a face. Demons gon' die on the beat. So say stop lying to me. New self, I'm dying to me. Got God inside of me. Yeah, bro, crash out, he tryna see. Watch out, you'll die in the streets. Demons gon' die on the beat. So say stop lying to me. New self, I'm dying to me. Got God inside of me. Yeah, bro, crash out, he tryna see. Watch out, you'll die in the streets. Bro, crash out, he tryna see. Watch out, you'll die in the streets. Feel Taekwondo kicking my one. I got my name from the sun. Light on my chin like the sun. I tell the truth, I only care if it's cool or not. D1, talk to the look like a nun. Say I ain't going for none. Back when I ain't had no kids, I was raising the funds. Soon as I ran up a ton, I got out the game, got one. Hold on, twin, let me cook. Till he say well done. Wake up and pray for the spot. Heard it's been getting too hot. I lean on Jesus like green, promethazine. I don't need beans, I don't need clean. But he gon' wash all of my sins, my dad is a king. Piss I king, yeah. I gave my kids a cuisine, yeah. Got to provide a machine, yeah. I don't put true on my jeans, I saw the rich kids when I was a teen, yeah. Step on that devil and kick down his door like happy Halloween, yeah. Dimes on me like a special guest, they might pop out and sing, yeah. Pastor just told me he been praying for the hood, I'm like, I never seen him. Demons gon' die on the beat. So say stop lying to me. New self, I'm dying to me. Got God inside of me. Yeah, bro, crash out, he tryna see. Watch out, you'll die in the streets. Bro, crash out, he tryna see. Watch out, you'll die in the streets. Demons gon' die on the beat. So say stop lying to me. New self, I'm dying to me. Got God inside of me. Yeah, bro, crash out, he tryna see. Watch out, you'll die in the streets. Bro, crash out, he tryna see. Watch out, you'll die in the streets. Yeah, come on, let's go. Two birds, here we go now. Father Abraham had plenty sons, and I am one of them. Ain't no sense in playing, cause I'm too player, I ain't one of them. Bless not in my hand, and I'ma count it right in front of them.
That motherfucker was loud in that bitch. Some more relaxing shit. I feel like a lot of the shit I wanted to take, a lot of the setups I was looking at are just confirming all over the place. So I should just get in. I shouldn't be too picky. I mean, I will be picky, actually. I feel like this I should have been in. I should have been in like right here. STM, I should have got back into. Or maybe, I don't think I'm still in STM. Oust, I'm still in. Up 300 on Oust. NTX I'm still in. Why did I enter this nominally? I literally called it out too. I'm going white tee long sleeve on them. Did you pray today? Did you pray today? Did you pray today? Where's my water? Oh, there it is. Hold on, I'm coming. The greatest stock market investor of all time. The greatest. Oh shit, my shit not set up just yet. Stock market investor of all time. Genesis. Oh, some more. What the hell? It's supposed to go to my camera. That was the moment. Hold on, let me do it again. The greatest. Oh shit. The greatest stock market investor of this current generation, of all generations to come after him, the man with the plan, Genesis. Oh, some more. Bro, my screen's not connected. What's going on? Come on. messing up the far straight. Technical difficulties. Hold on. Hold on. My screen cam. Why is the screen cam not connecting? What's going on? Well, my mic is connected. The mic's connected, but let me turn desktop audio off as well. Okay, this is my first time having technical difficulties. I want to turn my phone on. How's everybody doing? Let me try just restarting it. Okay. computer, phone, Wi-Fi, but it's not pulling into the stream. This hasn't happened before. Okay, there we go. Problem solved. Greatest investor of all time, Genesis Osmar. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Okay. We're back. We're back. We got some plays to talk about. Let's get right into it. Let's just go over the plays we've been looking at this week. Barrick Mining Company. If you don't already know, this is the chart. We got a little bit of a previous all-time high here. Price came to it, hit through it a little bit, but is getting ultimately rejected from that point. Getting pushed down. We got stopped out of this one. So 0 for 1. This is Jeff. Up a little bit in the green on this one. Another previous all-time high. If I keep zooming out. Previous all-time high. Level of resistance turned into support here when it broke through. Made this descending channel. Made a reversal correction here. And we're in the calls, 1 for 1. No entry here, but just a quality setup that I was looking at. Fortunately, I didn't get in this and it ran away from me. Basically meaning the move started to happen. And I can still get in this. Just looking for another correction. So just to zoom all the way out again. There's a running theme here, all-time high. A lot of stocks are just at all-time high. S&P is at all-time high, which I need to go back and cover after I cover best setups. Price is moving correctively to the top into this channel. Top of the channel near the all-time high. We got this head and shoulders up here. Price broke down. Gave a little continuation correction. And has continued to push down the last couple days. STM. STM making its move down. 2 for 1. You guys will start to see a pattern. Some of the setups I've been looking at an all-time high. Price moved correctively like it's doing on Joe. Actually broke out, making another channel. And up here looking for the push downs. And we're in the green. All right, here we're being patient and top. Again. Got ourselves some all-time highs, man. We got this large channel. We got this double top feature, right? See the green and red as a collection, as a shape, as a pattern. Right? Price started to push down here. And now it's correcting. This has been a good entry. But we'll let it push down and see what happens. I mean, I think it's still a good entry right here. I think this is still high quality setup. I would not be mad at you for getting in right here, and I might do that as well. So let's just go ahead and throw that target on there, about right here, and validation point will be probably the top of the structure again. Looking to catch the breakout to the downside, right? MSTR down 5%. And this is funny because just yesterday I called out this liquidity grab and how this probably was a good entry. And there it goes. This be up big time. The entry would have looked like this. But we didn't take it. TPG stopped us out once over here. This first entry. Re-entered off the bottom of this trend line. And let's break it down. So it would be 3 for 2 here. Looks like we just have this long, large ascending structure right here. And now we got a push down. So basically, if I hide this, we can see that price essentially just broke down through this bottom trend line, through this one right here from the higher time frame perspective, and then made these like multiple touches, essentially head and shoulders, and now it's pushing down in the green. About 3 for 2 so far. IonQ. This wasn't an actual trade. It was just like what I was looking at. I was thinking this could be potentially a breakout to the upside, but I wanted to be patient on it. And I just had this up here. It's broken out. Let's break it down. So this is similar to the TVG, the previous setup. It's got this large ascending structure here. As you look inside the structure, you can actually see that there's also this large head and shoulders pattern. And for those who don't know what a head and shoulders pattern is, it's just a trading setup, right? It tells us that what the current market is thinking. That's what patterns do. It just tells us what the current market is thinking. They don't always play out perfectly, but they're high percentage setups. So a large percent of the time, when you see this right shoulder, you know, hey, price is likely to come down, right? So if this was the most current moment, you'd be like, I'd probably, it's a good opportunity to try to make money because your risk is lower and your reward is higher. High opportunity setup, high probability setup. So this is breaking out of this structure. So to the downside, we see that we have a trend line here and it's breaking out to the downside. So if it continues to break out if it breaks out of this higher time frame ascending structure, we know we can be looking for sells probably back to these lows. This is the next set of lows. So price will probably come to here, which is pretty good risk to reward. Next we got APG. APG got a bunch of writing on it. But essentially, if you just look at the red and green and these trend lines, essentially price was moving to the upside. It was moving correctively, and then it would go into an impulse phase, corrective, and then it would impulse, break out of this correction, basically break out of the shape, move much faster, move very fast, very sharp to the upside, very slow, very choppy, left to right movement locked between two trend lines, and then boom, impulsive move, and then again choppy movement. And this whole entire movement was to the upside. Eventually price stopped out here and started to move to the downside. And as soon as I saw the change in, I guess you could call it change in character, but I was thinking that if price came back to this high, this would be a high opportunity setup. And now we're making money to the downside. We lost a little bit though, because I was trying to capitalize the move going to the upside. So I'm like, okay, it's going to the upside. It's making these simple rinse and repeat patterns. Let's try to catch some calls. And I tried to bet from it from here to the upside, and it fell down. So that's when I was like, okay, change in character of the patterns that it was currently making, similar to what IonQ. There's a change in character by it breaking this bottom trend line. Let's move on. So about 4 for 3. PCOR now. This is the entire chart here. We see from its origination, basically its IPO, it was up here at about $81, $80. Made these all-time highs, but aggressively pushed down. So this would be on a daily time frame or monthly or weekly, the highest time frames. This would be an impulsive move, right? This was a fast, sharp move up or down, which is an impulse. So this was down, and then price locked between these two trend lines, right? Between these highs and these lows, right? And it was just choppy, up and down, up and down, up and down. Price broke it, that trend, price broke trend, right? We can zoom in a bit. It broke trend right here. Came down to these lows and then moved up correctively, up into this pattern right here. Now, what it ends up doing is it comes back and retouches, or in the trader community, retests this bottom trend line. And I'll just give an example of break and retest pattern. just so you have a clear understanding of this was the pattern where price was locked between this bottom, this bottom, this bottom, this high, and it broke between that and came back and touched the trend line and went back up, right? It broke the bottom trend line, came down and retouched it, right? Not only did it do that, it didn't impulsively come back and retouch it. See how this moved down fast? It didn't impulsively and go immediately to it. It was choppy a bit, right? It made this high, made this low, this high, this low, and eventually came back and retouched it. Not once, but twice. This is a double top pattern. Double top shows signs of resistance up top, right? It's a reversal. The market's telling me reversal, right? So market's telling me reversal, and this pattern is moving up. It meets resistance, right? It meets resistance on this bottom trend line, and it breaks out of the pattern it made here. Breaks out of it on the bottom. It retests again, right? It retests again on that bottom trend line. So there's a lot of layers of confluence here. It's just peeling back the onion here. And we said this is a pretty high quality setup. This is a pretty good target structure right here. The target to the downside. And it popped down 4.75% today. So we're 5 for 3. Actually might be, that number might be off because I think I hid. I think I was in a little early. No. 5 for 3. Okay, moving on. Anyone have any questions? Got a couple viewers in here. If that's not making sense, just let me know. I'm not sure who's all in the chat, but I appreciate y'all for joining. Just gonna break down stocks. Might put on a little bit of music, because that's how I vibe out through this thing. Don't want to be too loud though. I know that's too loud. Okay, that's probably chill. Okay. We got ticker APTV. Didn't make a trade on this one. But this is the stock from its origination, from its IPO, initial price offering. I probably said that wrong. Is it initial price offering? Always double check. Initial public offering. Because that did not sound right. Initial public offering down here, $14. Currently trading at about $70, $69.52. We can see that price locked in between these two, this trend line, this trend line, and this made a descending wedge. All right, a descending wedge pattern. Right, you see what a descending wedge typically does. Locks in between these two trend lines, squeezes towards the bottom, and then makes a move to the upside. Locked in between these two trend lines. Broke out to the upside. Now we made the move to the upside, right? It broke out of the top trend line and it made another pattern where it locked in between two trend lines. It made another pretty aggressive move to the upside. It got a little choppy, right? Made an ascending channel here on a smaller time frame perspective, and smaller time frame just means like if I zoom into the 15-minute candle, where every red and green candle, every individual candle here locked in on a smaller time frame, you can clearly see a trend. All right. On a higher time frame, sometimes it's not necessary to see those minute trends, right? You can't see that ascending channel that's happening right here anymore when every candlestick is a weekly or monthly perspective. So this is all the price movement that happens in 1 month is all in here in this candlestick. So continuing from where I left off, price locked in between here, made this aggressive move to the upside, and then has been bouncing between this trend line, this higher trend line, this low trend line. This would be a good opportunity for calls. You just want to wait for this to confirm, to basically break out of this smaller time frame shape. Once it breaks out of this smaller time frame shape, you can pretty much guarantee, not guarantee, but you can make a high probability play. You could make a high probability calls, essentially saying, I'm betting on this to go higher, right? Let's just say price continues to play maybe a little bit, it breaks out, it comes back and bounces off the top of the trend line. That'd be like your entry point. And that's all my best setups I've seen so far this past week. A lot of them, there's more, but they're current winners now. Price hit this all-time high. It was a ascending wedge. Opposite of a descending wedge, pushed out to the downside. Made these continuation shapes, basically saying price is going to continue to move in the direction that we think it's going to move. Like I believe it was one of these stocks that we was going over where the opposite happened, where it was making these higher highs and it reversed on me. This one was the reversal one. But here we're betting that it's going to keep continuing until it proves us wrong, right? We could, every time it makes these little shapes, it keeps moving down aggressively. We can keep taking advantage. Zillow, a continuation structure here. So Zillow looks like a huge head and shoulders. If it's breaking out here, I would be looking to, so I closed this trade down early because of how long this was taking and it moved back to the upside on me. Definitely should have held it. It broke through this top line. I was like, that's the line of where I just don't want to feel comfortable holding it because of the time frames I was working on. Oust, continuation correction, ascending wedge here, breakout, couple ascending channels, continuation patterns, and we're making money there. Just for a higher time frame perspective, the entire move is happening within a structure. Bank of America, we made money on. Now this is the past 2 weeks. Banking sector as a whole is rolling over. I think S&P as a whole is rolling over. I'll go over S&P after this. And again, if anyone has any questions, I want to just say what's up. What's up, people? Appreciate y'all for joining the stream. I do want to eat a banana, but somebody that wants to manage me said I shouldn't eat on stream, which is unfortunate because I feel like she doesn't know what she's talking about. That person's my mother, by the way. What does rolling over mean? Let me just jump to the SPY. Rolling over is just a coined term. I mean, financial analysts use the word rolling over to signify that we have a strong move to the upside. That strong move, you see these big green candles, they become smaller and smaller, and then more red starts to show up, and then eventually this makes like this, basically this hill right here as well. Just makes basically saying like the bulls are starting to turn into bears, or the market that we were betting on going higher is starting to fall over. It's starting to become sells. It's starting to become a recession. It's starting to make a correction. Those type of terms, they're all similar to rolling over. Like market is not pushing. Bro, Allison, is that bad? Cypher Soul sis, is it that bad? Appreciate you for calling it out. But basically meaning it's still falling over. I got 4C here. Does that explain it? Yeah, okay, appreciate it. That explained it. And then QQQ. All-time high. Wasn't able to break above that all-time high. Price is starting to move down. Rolling over. So the stock market is being tested right now, we could say. So this was Bank of America. And then I was showing SPY really quickly. Let me go to my watch list. Banks. So this is a banking. This is a combination of all the stocks in the banking sector and the finance sector right here. And as you can see, the last 3 months have been bearish. Prices been pushing down. And that correlates directly, and this is a weekly perspective, so multiple weeks of just pushing down. That correlates with JP Morgan pushing down, Bank of America, which was on one of my trades that I made money on, is pushing down. Fargo pushing down, right? It's locked in between these long trend lines, but they got to the top of these trend lines and they start to push down. So everything rhymes in the stock market. Everything has patterns and reasons. Going back to what I'm directly looking at, or some of my winners. This was a winner that took 3 entries. Oh shit. Looks like it's no longer a winner though. So I'll turn this to a red. That's how I track my losers. So this was a descending channel, broke to the upside, and I'm trying to take advantage of the move to the upside, but it's not working out for me. So once I miss on a thesis, right? And the thesis is saying we have a descending channel, it broke to the upside, we have a pattern here that I want to enter on. If I miss that type of framework 3 times on a trade, I'll probably just avoid it. So that's probably, I'm probably not going to trade this again for a while. And I think that was it. No, that couldn't have been it. I have a couple more here that are big winners. Viking, ascending channel, broke to the downside. And we just got a really sharp entry up there. If we zoom in, I was just looking at this ascending channel. I saw these very clean highs, and when it pushed down and made this continuation structure, I was thinking in my head, might as well get in here, because we already know what ascending channels like to do. They like to break out to the downside. For when they do break out, they break out to the downside more often than when they break up to that they break up to the upside. So when I saw this continuation pattern building right here, I thought to myself, well, why not just test it out, right? And it played out really well, right? It's still choppy, but we're still pretty much in the money here. I think this trade technically ended. How long was this trade? So from about March 2nd. Yeah, this trade is about over. Maybe I closed it. Yeah, I think I closed it. Technically, I scooted it over because it was making these highs. Looks like Decker. I went 1 for 1 on. So I made money on this trade, but lost on this trade, which is okay because my winners made more than my losers. With this one, there's some notes here, but I'll break it down for you. Essentially, I'll actually just hide these for now. Essentially what I was looking at, you got this large push down, this this bearish impulsive move. This is what we got. A bearish impulsive move right here. All right, and then price starts to get corrective and move between these 2 trend lines. And then it breaks out to the downside, but immediately pushes back up to the upside. Impulse, impulse. And then price starts to lock again between these two trend lines right here. And so what that gives us is, at the time, a potential reverse head and shoulders. So I showed you head and shoulders, but I didn't show you reverse head and shoulders. Head. And just like how you have ascending wedges, you have descending wedges that do the opposite, that make the opposite impulse. You want to take the calls to the opposite direction. Right? Within that right shoulder, we call them the left side of the head and shoulders, left shoulder, right side is the right shoulder. So we're in the reverse head and shoulders on this right shoulder. I was looking at the neckline. I was looking at this ascending channel and I said, if it pushes to the downside, which it did, it pushed to the downside. I saw this green channel, the green candle. And then I saw it go for this kind of like retest right here. I was like, okay, this could be good sells in the interim. So I went ahead and put my my sell position up, and it got down the next day. That's what you love to see, right? An instant payout, instant confirmation of your thesis of like, okay, that just worked out. And then, like I said, we know Head and Shoulders are more so signs that price is gonna come this direction. So I was looking at these lows down here that it was starting to make. Price came all the way down and was starting to make these lows. And when I saw this push up happening, I wanted to just shut this trade down, because like I said, our higher time frame bias was that this was going to come back to the upside anyways. So let's not hold on to sells for too long. So then I saw it coming and making these lows. I thought, let me just set up for the next push to the upside. And that has not worked out. It's broken through even this bottom trend line I have. So we just have to be careful on our next entry for this. We want to see some more serious confirmation, like maybe a double bottom, right? Double bottom and then a push up and then a continuation correction will be good signs. Maybe we could enter right here. So we'll continue to watch that one. And then Truist. The first thing I recommend for most people is to understand candlesticks, because Truist is truly just like trend lines and candlestick trade. Like you got a bottom trend line, you got a top trend line, and then you have this bearish pin bar. And like Genesis, what's a bearish pin bar? A bearish pin bar shows me that wherever the wick is pointing, the market wants to move in the opposite direction. So this one was a bearish pin bar, and then you had a next one was bearish candlestick. This is a perfect example of what the trade I just took looks like. A little bit more confluence because I know it's in an ascending channel. I know this was a previous all-time high, so it acted as resistance. It came back up to that exact point, all-time high, and made this bullet or bearish monthly pin bar. And we know monthly candles have more strength, more truth in it than any smaller time frame candlestick. Is that making sense, guys? Give me some thumbs up if you're getting quality information right now. Give me a thumbs up on the video if you're getting some quality information right now. That'll just help spread to other people on YouTube who need the same type of quality information. But yeah, this is simple. I really love this trade. This is, I think, one of the best trades I took the last 2 weeks. Very simple, using two theories: an ascending channel, really three, an ascending channel, a resistance at all-time high, and a bearish pin bar. And the color of the pin bar doesn't necessarily matter as much, right? Because you have this green one and you have this red one. They both signal direction. Next we got Dow. Dow is a chemical company. They're a chemical processing company. This is their chart on a daily perspective, daily time frame perspective. And then we just had this reversal down here. Noticed that, hey, this pattern was a continuation pattern, right? Price was moving down, made this choppy move, kept moving down right into the next impulse. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction here. But it was reversal correction right this time. Reversal correction, price moved to the upside. As we zoom in here, we see some more smaller time frame continuation corrections. We see a bullish candlestick right here, right? It's similar to the opposite of the pin bar I just showed. Price continued to push up, made a descending wedge type of structure here. We got these two highs, these two lows. That's all you need to make a structure. Price continued to move up, and I saw this candlestick and I'm like, that's a retest. On the 4 hour, it doesn't look like much of a retest, but when I zoom in, we see price on a 10-minute. It opened on Wednesday, March 4th. It opened at $31, but it came all the way back within 20 minutes of that day and tested this bottom trend line. From then on, it has pushed up, right? Look at it. Look at that bullish pin bar on the daily. And this is just a random trend line I have right here. An alert trend line. So this has probably been my most profitable trade. From $30 to $40. It's a 30% move on the stock. Probably about a 300% move on the option. Snowflake. We lost one on Snowflake. I don't know why I have it all drawn all the way down here. We went 1 for 1 on Snowflake. But like I said, my losses might be $100, $200 losses at most. My winners could be anywhere from my home run winners can be anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000. So losers should be, in percent wise, losers will be 1%, 2% at most of my entire trading account size. And then winners can be anywhere, like home run winners can be anywhere from 200+%. 200 to 300%. I don't hold the trades super duper long, so I can't get more than that. And then, yeah, day traders usually are shooting for like 100% to 200%. My home runs could be like 3+. But they take longer to play out, to make those percentages. Snowflake. We got the entire stock locked in between these two trend lines. Just fix the visibility on this. That's the stock. That's the entire lifespan of the stock. Right there on a monthly perspective. Opened, IPO'd back in 2020. Damn, it IPO'd in 2020. I know that was an interesting time to IPO. So it made this double top. Let's break it down from the monthly. Double top. All right, let's actually remove all drawings. Made a double top. Well, from this perspective, I would just draw the trend lines first. So connect the highs, connect the lows. And then we see a pattern. So I could just, it's a wedge pattern. We see a double top, we see a double bottom here, but not too super important. Then we could zoom in. What's happened recently? So it pushed down from the top. And we got another structure here. We see some highs that are close at the same, near the same price level. See some lows that are within the same price level. And then from there, I was just telling myself, hey, if everything above this line is probably a good entry. And I know I'm targeting the downside. I know overall I'm looking to the downside. So within this structure, everything within here, I could bring to the downside. So let's go all the way back to before I remove drawings and stuff. And that's what I did. I was trying to get a super precise entry looking at this trend line over here. But overall, the thesis worked out. Move on. Apple's in here for tracking purposes. I made a little bit of money on Apple, but we can show. I made a little bit of money going up on Apple, but I saw it reversing at the top of this channel, so I got out. Citi's another bank. Trying to get the early sells from this double top, all-time high, push down, correction, hopefully hoping for more push down. Ended up retesting the highs again into this push down. And at first, I was actually looking at this like this. So it looked really clean. But then once I realized it was a descending wedge, I closed the trade down. And it pushed back and broke this my stop loss, or what would have been my stop loss. HubSpot. Got a bottom line. We got our top all-time high. And we're just watching. This one, this isn't a winner. I haven't traded this. Let me slide this up. It's interesting. Just trying to see, is this gonna break back up to the highs or break down to the lows, right? So if it were to break down or up, you have a lot of room. You have a lot of room in between the high and the low, to where this could be a really good short. And it could also be really good calls. So you have really good room. Looking at this all-time high and this previous low. So I just wanted to confirm and give me some direction, because I think wherever it plays to, I'll play right along with it. No need to guess right now. And then Lululemon is my last stock. This was a really quality trade too. A lot of good confluence stacking. Bearish move. Let me just zoom out a bit. This is what the structure looks like. We got the bearish move. It broke down the bottom trend line. We got a failed retest here and here. it makes somewhat of a head and shoulders at the time I was trading it, because it made this bearish correction, this bearish shape right here. And I'll zoom in and break it down more. And then it pushed down some more. I just want to kind of look at it from a higher time frame view, because when you zoom in, you start to see more nuance to it, right? This bearish impulse down, continuation structure, right? Another push down. This is a reversal correction on a lower time frame. Comes back up and retests. Then you have another bearish impulse down on a smaller time frame. And then you have this continuation, bearish continuation structure. So when a structure looks like it's bearish, but you don't know what's gonna happen next, you just say it's bearish. Or a structure you don't know if it's bullish or bearish, but since we know it's ascending, it gives us that bearish bias. And then it's pushing down. This is probably my next best trade in terms of just confluence. And then I made the bet. That's the final part of the analysis. Make the damn bet. You have all this good analysis and you don't entry. What was the point? So yeah, once it gapped down and broke through the trend line, this was more of a situation where I just wanted to be, I want to be in. There's so many layers of confluence. I just need to be in the game here for the sells, in position. I just need to be in position. So there it is. And then some of you might be thinking is like, oh, when do you get out? In my style of trading, as you can see, I can go back to Dow. I don't have a target. I don't trade with pure targets. I trade based on continuation and shape. So like, if it looks like it's gonna stop or reverse against me, I'll strongly consider letting the trade go. Either I'm in profit, either maybe it's slightly already down and it looks like it's gonna get worse. I'll close the trade. But if it keeps going, it keeps going. I'm usually in about 30 days on average. It'd be like how long I hold. Sometimes much less, sometimes a little longer than 30 days. Sometimes I'll be in for a week. Sometimes I'll be in for 3 days. Makes a nice move, but then it looks like it's reversing. Ideally, I'm in for 30 days and price moves up and to the right or down and to the right very fast and very continuously, depending on if I have calls or sells, and it just runs. But yeah, that's the wrap up. That's the full wrap up of the money plays. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. Gonna keep dropping this. You'll probably see this video clipped up a little bit and pushed out on my social media platforms. The next step now is to find more money plays. So stick around for a quick intermission if you want to see how I find the stocks that go onto my best setups list, my winners list. I will be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Money Plays is back in action. And I'm going to show you guys how I find the money plays. Well, let's start off with my watch list. And if you guys don't know, this is a software called, even take a step back. This is a website called TradingView. It's a pretty stellar website. Supercharts is Supercharts right here. But it also has this cool product called Screeners. There's a whole community in here. People breaking down different trading ideas, talking about Bitcoin, gold, and everything. They're talking about everything, breaking down charts in multiple different ways than I do. Some of them can be really simple. Some of them can be super complicated. But it's always worth expanding your information pool. Overall news. But yeah, the product I used to find some of the stocks we were looking at is this screener tool for stocks. And I use this long-term swing trader. So first of all, the minimum price of the stock, what it's currently trading at. So one stock of Visa is worth nearly $300. The reason I limit it and I put floors on it is because one, it's within my price range. Two, you don't want anything. The low number is really, you don't want anything too low. You don't want to be trading BS. There's a lot of reason why people lose money. A lot of reason why traders lose money is because they're trading some BS. Or they're trading something outside of their budget, and when the stock slips on them or gaps on them, they take huge losses. And a gap is a gap. So price closed here up at what, the $500 mark, 594, and then dropped all the way to 582. So in the option trading world, that's a big jump. If your stop loss is somewhere in the gap, then it opens up all the way down here and it's just pushing down, it's gonna be a big loss. But yeah, this trade, I have a screener that's looking at stocks within the New York Stock Exchange, within the NASDAQ, that's trading with a lot of volume. A lot of volume just being that when I want to get in and get out, other people want to get in and get out with me. Inversely, I want to get out, I can sell to someone who wants to get in. When I want to get in, someone's selling to people who want to get in as well. And then beta is just a measure of volatility. So nothing I have a bottom here, bottom of 0.8. One is it's relative volatility to 1 year. So over the course of an entire year, is it moving normal volatility, which would be like a 1? Is it even less volatile than that, which is like everything less than 1? Or is it more volatile than that, everything more than 1? And as you can see, it has some descriptions here, but Basically, nothing super low, nothing super duper high. For day traders, they would be looking for the most volatile. At least if I was day trading, I'd be looking at the most volatile stock that's opening every day. That's at the, it'd be different stock every time. It'd probably be like, maybe not penny stocks, but like, because you could probably set that price down, but like something like $20 to $50, something extremely volatile that's just going up and up and up, or down and down and down, and then you could just make a ton of money enter and exit, enter, exit, enter, exit. I think that's like one of the highest paying day trading systems. But yeah, once I put these filters, they give me about 233 stocks. It changes sometimes. It refreshes constantly. So it'll be new stocks in, old stocks out. But for the most part, it stays the same. And then I go through every single one within about a week or two, every about week or so. And it'll give me, I don't know if I've even looked at Visa really. Visa's newer, but I update what's going on. If anything interesting happening, I chart it. The more interesting, the more I chart it and put that green tag on it. The less interesting, I just leave it alone. Looks like it's not really setting up according to my system or not. Or it's just in a very impulsive phase and I missed the trade. Or there's not much structure going on. Just leave it. Like this, for example. Yeah, there's a channel here, but it already made the retest and it's moved to the upside and it wasn't giving much anything to go along with it. Now it kind of is. Just slightly. Got one high, two highs, but only one low, so I can't really attach this bottom to anything. I could do this, but it's a little funky. So we just be patient and we keep looking at the next one. And we just keep it pushing. Try to do this in like 30 seconds or less. American Eagle, we're always zooming out. Looks like there was a neutral wedge, basically just saying it's moving sideways. And it looks like we got this push down over the last few weeks, so maybe it's going to do something interesting and keep pushing down. We'll track it. JP Morgan Chase, we already looked at. GE Aerospace. This was interesting. I could probably throw it in the green. I was waiting for a little bit more information down here. And it looks like it wants to maybe push down a bit more. But cool. Cool. Well, yeah, that's the whole process. You guys just kind of stuck it out with me. I'm probably gonna shut this stream down here in a second. Just want to say I appreciate y'all for joining. If there's any questions you have, feel free to throw out some last minute questions. I'll answer them. But if not, I appreciate y'all for joining. Last trading day of the week. Let's just go over the big stuff. SPY, like we said, is rolling over. It's a small gap down here on the day. And this might be too, and we like to pull up FinViz as well. See if Finviz is giving any decent information. Yeah, everything's pretty much wrapped around Iran. So that's kind of what the market is being pulled by. QQQ saying, what's Bitcoin doing? Stock market. You think that, I mean, actually, that's not true. I was going to say, you think that since Bitcoin is decentralized and stuff, that and it acts like gold, it'd be going up, but I think gold is probably going to start to make a slight climb here. And as you can see, this long wick is going to probably tell us that it's going to push up. Or at least this is going to be a floor. People are going to be buying down right here. Oil is ascending some more. If this keeps up, if the war keeps up, we have ascended oil prices, stock market starts to pull back. Economy's already kind of pretty bad. I don't think government is going to say recession. I don't think the government will ever say the word recession in this next 3 years. But financial institutions might start saying recession, or at least pullback, right? We're going to have some negative quarters if this is happening. So Bitcoin's falling. Bitcoin looks like it's going to fall some more, actually. All right, we have these lows. And yeah, Bitcoin looks like it's going to fall some more, which is good. Invest in Bitcoin. If you're skeptical, use 1%, 5% of your total investments. Invest in Bitcoin, especially it's a 20-year play. You got to think about it like that. It's a 20-year play. If you invest in health for 20 years, it's going to be a bit higher than 60,000. I tell you that. Nvidia's falling. Yeah, I mean everything's gonna be falling right now. It's falling. Ooh. Actually, you know what? I will tell you some good long-term plays. Walmart and Costco, baby. Walmart and Costco. Staples. This is where investors are going to be putting their money. If they're going to put it in the stock market, you're still going to have to grocery shop. You're still going to the grocery store. Walmart, Costco, very good, strong plays. Staples, defensive stocks. Oh, and defense tech. It's a little bit. I don't know how morally sound it is to invest in companies. Anyways, defense tech. There's multiple wars going around. These guys are making money. Defense tech. Your wholesale grocery stores. Communications, you're still going to pay your phone bill. I think chemical companies, energy companies as well, so industrial services.
Manufacturing should still be okay. We'll see. It depends. Energy will be fine. Energy's killing right now. Energy is killing right now. Energy's probably the best play. A little late to it, but energy, American energy has been the play since Venezuela. Right? Energy, minerals. I mean, they're just charging. They're able to make more money for the global the global price of oil has gone up, and that's the price they sell at. Everyone sells at the global price, and then of course local supply and demand adjusted compared to where you are locally. But and that's my whole GE Vernova. GE Vernova is a stock I really want to invest in. They're like the picks and shovels for like energy, and they own some energy nuclear assets. Vistra owns nuclear assets. These are probably like the two energy plays I want to invest in. I think Vistra is a good spot if you look at, so from a long-term perspective, you see, from a trader's perspective, you see this ascending wedge, and you're thinking, you might start to think, you might get used to trading like I do. For example, you see an ascending wedge, and you're thinking like, okay, well, I should be biased for sales. It's not the case in long term. You almost want to like look at a chart, but like when we're really talking long term, the chart kind of only matters for an entry. So you know how in technical analysis for the trade, I use all the top down stuff, and then it told me this is a pretty good spot for entry to make money over the next 30 days though. That's different. I can't use all that technical analysis to tell me over the next 30 years. It's fundamentals that tell you the next 30 years. What's the government doing? Where we focus on as a country? What technology is going to change the world? Technical analysis doesn't tell you any of that. However, if I did want to invest, say like right now, I feel like 30 years, nuclear is going to be big. Everyone's going to have to use it, but they're going to make smaller and smaller nuclear cells. They're going to be in your computer, your phone, your house. They're going to be sending people to space. This is what we're going to be putting in our spaceships. It's going to be super important. It's clean. Right? So next 30 years, I feel like it's bullish. Technicals, I could come in here and tell me like, well, it's in this ascending channel. It's at the bottom of that ascending channel, so I could enter here. This would be a good spot if it can. Let's just say it continues to keep this pattern, right? And it just continues to keep this pattern. Eventually, it'll break to the upside or the downside, right? But if it continues to keep up this pattern, all things true, this is a good spot to buy, right? Because at the tops would be where sellers are, where people are selling, and at the bottom is where buyers are. So you do want to be sharp on your entry when you're going long. Obviously, if you're early enough, right? If I'm fucking investing back in when it IPO'd, you already worked, your timing already was good. But this is like, you still want to be good timing. You don't want to buy at 200 and it pulls back on you within a year, 2 years on to 150. You just don't want that, I guess. I mean, who does, right? But hey, invest money you don't need over a 2-year period. Invest money you don't need over a 2-year period in stocks. 30-year play. What's your 30-year play? All right, everybody. That's the homework. What do you think is your 30-year play? And buy one share of a company that is aligned on that play. All right, everybody.